from Maker's Mark?
No new prizes from Maker's Mark.
Okay.
That's a once-a-year thing.
Okay.
Welcome. We are live, and you missed Hefe's question asking if I got any prizes from Maker's Mark, which I did not. But we're live. It's Hangout in the Crib with the Battle Pirates Crib crew. There is most of us here tonight. We've got myself, the BP Professor, and Tito,
Hello, everybody.
and Dr. Death,
Hey, how's it going?
and Disturb God,
Hello, people.
and Hefe.
Howdy, everybody.
All right. So tonight, I think our main topic is going to be the daily campaigns, brand new feature that the release was delayed a day for. So unless we got anything else for the A block, we can get right into it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's talk campaign. Well, let's talk bug fixes first, because we always like bug fixes, or bugs, or ladies leaning on bugs. Okay. Improve the flow when using a VXP token so that the fleet that contains a ship you're using VXP tokens on will remain selected after a token is used, so you can save your clicks.
Click efficiency, always good.
Yep. Corrected the name of advanced systems being used in the resource list. I never keep the resources straight. It's like the long, cheap one and the short, expensive one. Whatever they're called. I don't know. What is it? Metal and advanced systems?
I think so.
Yeah, metal alloy and then advanced systems.
Metal alloy. Okay. I don't know how you make a metal alloy from just titanium, but we'll let that one go.
Now, on that bug fix though, is that meaning now that if I click to make a metal alloy, it's not going to automatically take me back to advanced systems?
I think he's combining the two.
No, it doesn't look like that.
You know, because in the past we've had the problem where you can get stuck with a 24-hour build for advanced systems because you click on that metal alloy, to start a metal alloy, which is only a half an hour. But when the next screen comes up to start it, it automatically takes you back to advanced systems, and you have to re-click again on metal alloy to be able to start it.
I've never noticed any weirdness with that.
I've noticed that it's
the same as still. You click on the. If you can click on to add one of the metal alloys, but when the window pops up, it's on advanced systems, and it's on. So it's still the same. You have to be careful, or you get stuck in one day. Because the worst part is that you cannot cancel that.
Right. And then fixed an issue where the Citadel blueprint was saying the wrong number of weapon slots. So, kind of a bunch of minor fixes, nothing really affecting gameplay. Let's keep going. Oh wait, more bug fixes. This is what I get for not reading the release. FM pop-up would not be available until the game was reloaded for players online when the mission started. That's a new bug. That used to pop up when I was on at that time. I guess.
Yeah, actually, that's a fix. That's a bug that I don't want to get fixed, to be honest. Because if you are recording something or like that, and you do it at the time the Forsaken mission is starting, you get that pop up. If you are hitting a base, you get it as well, and that was a bit annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other problem though that was going with that bug is there were people that would wait until the launch. They'd see the targets come on, but they wouldn't get the pop up. They go hit that first target and not get any points for it.
Yeah, because they don't have the icon on the world map.
Right, because it hasn't popped up for them yet.
Yeah, but I mean that I don't know. They could have fixes without having to get the pop-up window, because the pop-up window, if you are hitting a base or something like that at that point, it's annoying because you have to take it away, so you can keep clicking wherever you want.
Yeah. All right. Fix an issue where defenders in a player-based combat would not be awarded medals for successfully defending their base. I don't know. People hitting me lately are not reaching even 25% because my bubble pad's all screwed up. And I have a Apparently, it's called an angry kitty, which we'll talk about later in the show. I never knew it was called an angry kitty, but but it does seem appropriate.
I'm surprised that the creator of the base damage spreadsheet doesn't have the bubble spot fixer, but well, we'll talk later.
I mean, I know the problem. I just decided to build a level 9 turret.
No, so here we say the same. The blacksmith is always using wooden tools.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. Whatever. Okay, fixed an issue where players were unable to use VXP tokens designated for the Alpha Behemoth to rank up the hull. And all right, Tito, here's what I'm going to say. It's just really entertaining when somebody loses like a full Zoe Retribution fleet and does like 20% damage and just goes away and doesn't come back. I find it really entertaining. I don't know.
Yeah, I got that issue a few months ago when because I started making level 7 turrets on the island instead of the entrance by mistake. So the thing is that a guy hit me and man, he lost 3 fleets before he could kill all my fleet, the guardian fleet, and then he came on the last fleet. Okay, he got inside of the base, but he said, "Hey, your base is working good, seems." And I said, "Well, must be because you lost 3 fleets just to get into the spot where you could hit." Because it was funny, you could kill my full fleet, my front turrets, and you were not getting the 25, so you could come over. But man, 3 fleets.
Yeah. I mean, what I usually do is I start alternating, center island and then outside, and so right now I've got 1 center island at level 8, and so.
Well, what I do now is every time I have to update something, I go to that amazing spreadsheet that Larry shared with all us, and I just make the suggestion. I put the level 8 turret in the front, level 8 turret in the pass. Put yes on all the targets that are going to get hit. Do I keep still the bubble spot? Okay, yes, no. I have to move 1 to the island or 1 to the front, and it helps a lot.
Yeah.
At times you get surprised that I know that we said at first that to fix the bubble spot we all needed to go with the warehouses to level 15. I don't have a single warehouse to level 15. I am still working pretty good.
Okay. Cool. And then last bug fix, and I saw some people complaining on Facebook groups about this one, is players were unable to use VXP tokens designated for the Alpha Behemoth to rank up the hull. So, one or just some people, but I guess they fixed it.
Right. I think that those just came if you bought the deal, and I didn't, so I didn't suffer that bug.
Yeah. I would have been really upset if I had bought them on a deal and they didn't work. All right, repair changes also came out this week. The repair time for the armor that's added from the Pandemonium and the Searing Barrage mortars has been cut by a lot. So used to be, 10 minutes on a Pandemonium? Something like that?
I think it was, I forget what it was. It was a 0.8. So if you want to do math live again.
No, that's always risky.
Yeah,
Dunkel. It went all over my arm when I opened it.
Yeah.
He already lost an on up to the beer, so not warranted the result.
Anyway, and then so yeah, Hefe did the
and
did
9 says it was 24 minutes.
24
in chat. 9 says 24.
Okay.
Yeah, down to 18 seconds.
Yeah. So what's really interesting about this is I always thought of the repair time on this weapon armor to be targeted so that you couldn't use certain weapons on instant repair ships, right? Because the armor it adds would push your repair time above instant. Now these weapons are viable for instant repair ships, although with the long range weapons, I don't know how many instant repair ships really do any good in raids anymore. But
well, you could try maybe if you use it, but it's not going to be cheap at the end. Is using drones as expendables in front of those instant repair ships and try something, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think that kind of defeats the purpose.
And where's the love for the Chaos Mortar?
Yeah, people like Chaos
The,
Mortars.
the Chaos is still at 0.8.
Okay. Well, I mean,
So just
this is
as
just a
you
weird
know,
change. Like, I mean, were people asking for this?
I don't know what this is about. I mean, because we're not level, we're not level 48, or we're not at that level. But
Yeah.
potentially, if you're lower level and you want to use one of these ships as a tank, it sounds like the Pandemonium Mortar is going to do a very good job at tanking in the FM.
Mm. Yeah, you could add this and add health without adding repair time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's my thought.
That's not terrible.
Is to make the FM easier for some people.
Wonder if you could load up. Well, I mean, maybe even on a Zealous, start reducing the repair time for damage of a Zealous.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that. It's quite a bit of dilution, but yeah, with this repair efficiency, diluted a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you're at. I think you start at 20K on the Zealous.
Mm-hmm.
The romantics on the chat are asking what is the love in the Judgment Mortars. Can you answer that, Jefe?
Well, the Judgment Mortars don't have armor, so that's not really going to impact. These changes wouldn't impact the Judgment Mortar.
Okay, so, I hope that helps our romantic on the chat.
Okay.
So
let's move on. Unless we have other stuff about the mortars. No. Okay. All right. So let's get to the meat of the show. We got this daily campaign.
No Dios.
Yeah. So limited time campaign offered for 24 hours, and the prize is a treasure chest. So the deal is you get one per day. It seems to be random of which one of two choices you get. Right now, players level 80 plus are getting it. And then next week, players from levels 50 through 79 will get a lower level campaign. So hopefully easier for those players. And then for even lower than that, they'll have another set of daily campaigns. So we'll just all have to wait and see. And I'm thinking players on the panel here, does anybody have a base?
I have a question. 80? Do you guys think that the chest offered to the level 80s is actually a chest that the level 80 is expecting?
Well,
and not the level 50-79?
Let's wait on the size of the chest later.
Yeah, we'll talk
about a couple of slides.
We'll talk about chests.
I'm surprised that you leave the chest for last, Jefe, but okay.
And whether they're big chests or small chests.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you left that for the last, but okay, I will accept that.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll just talk about the structure of the campaign, and then we'll get to the chests and really discuss the chests. So anyway, players in each level bracket will not be able to participate in campaigns outside their level band. So even if you're a level 60 and you're feeling sporty, you can't hit the high level 80 plus campaign. So anyway, this is sort of a new chore in a way, right? I mean, it's something you can do every day. Whether you have to do it or want to do it, let's discuss.
Well, I sort of had a question on the level locking. I mean, it's an old story. I mean, level locking is broken. I mean, levels are broken.
Yeah.
You're going to have problems either way. You're going to have a level 75 that's got all the newest technology and can just run through everything. And then you got some guy that left the game for a year and a half that comes back and can't do any of this.
Yeah.
It cries for a different sort of system.
So
that they should initiate and then eventually let that creep into the rest of the game and sort of eliminate this resource-based level system.
So whether that's a big problem depends on your opinion of the chest, and whether you value the chest, whether you want to kind of grab onto that chest and hold it, and
Yes, it's
We are
all
talking
value.
about chest,
It's all
right?
value. It's all a value-added proposition. But
right.
it's just sort of a lot of this stuff with locking things or punishing people or whatever you want to call it for attaining a certain level is creeped into the game yet again, is all I'm saying. I'm not
Yeah.
because it creeps into the game all the time, and it really needs to be mollified in some way, that it's not it doesn't impact people as much, because I'm willing to bet that people that have been gone for the game and coming back with go ahead.
I mean, the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to make a player rating, and base it on something else? And really, it's really just level, right? If you do that,
You could do it two different ways. You could do it by technology level of the player, or you could do it on the level of the fleet that's being used.
You know what I think, though? We've been complaining about this for years. This has been an issue that's been in the game for years, and I think Kicksai's probably looked at this, and I don't know that Kicksai is going to be able to code it, because they're working with an old code to begin with, and the old code was all based on level, and you realize how much they may have to dig through to be able to change that dynamic.
Well, yeah, I mean, the point I'm trying to make is whatever you replace level with, it's still level. You're just going to compute it differently, right? It's still a number in the end that is a arbiter of how powerful you are. And so, is our current, is 1 XP always worth 1 XP? And I
No, but and also they never did anything to fix it, because you're getting experience just for solving, and then you're bringing that resources to your base, and then when you use that resources, you get another time experience. They should at least cut one of the two experience source away, because that's making a lot of people get levels way faster than they can cope with and getting the tech that they are going to need on that level.
Yeah,
and you can see that each time it's getting worse, because now you hit level 70s or 80s bases at times because there is nothing else around, maybe, or you don't want to waste time with long repairs. And I have seen level 70s and 80s that still have level 3 walls.
Yeah. Actually, what's interesting is you say it, I'm starting to think about, essentially what you could do to replace level is assign a value to everything you have, right? So having blueprints, it has a point value. And having a building and having a wall and having a ship, everything on that ship has a point value, right? And so then...
Yeah, but shouldn't that be too much work for them? Because they should evaluate the blueprints as they lose tier or they lose being something relevant in the game. Because when they started, the 6 Cannon S was an amazing weapon to have, and nowadays the 6 Cannon S is just adding speed to some builds, but you don't kill anything.
But Tito, they have a tier system in power creep. They have a tier system already in place that should help them easily track these sort of things, and not, tier system, once tier 6 conquerors come out, tier 5 conquerors get devalued by whatever amount, or something of that nature.
You don't even have to devalue the old stuff. You just make the new stuff worth more. So before, the top level hull was worth 500 points. Now the top level hull is worth 600 points. Siege Cannon S used to be worth 400 points. Well, it's still worth 400 points 2 years later, but the newest weapons are worth 1,000 points. So, my point is, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Really, I don't have a point, but maybe there's something that could be done.
It's something that should be. I agree. It's something that should be looked at in the game.
Larry, what you just said is actually a great fix, and can easily be accomplished, because instead of worrying about adding points to it, just the value of what the tier is.
Yeah.
So if you got an item that's worth 4, this tier 4, it's worth 4 points. You know what I mean? And just add it all up, and then that would be the assault, the assault level that you are capable of.
Yep. Right, because you have a certain amount of technology in your base. So, all right. So I guess I just fixed that problem in about 2 minutes of thought. What's next?
Make sure they send you the stipend. The stipend, sorry. Make sure don't lose that, Larry.
A pen?
The stipend.
Stipend.
The amount.
Stipend.
Yeah, the amount of coin.
Stipend.
Oh, stipend.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Sorry for my
I thought he was making a.
pronounce.
I thought he was making a crack at Larry getting old and needing pens.
Oh, I am not that old.
I wouldn't dare to go that far yet.
Okay. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah,
I was
right.
waiting for a response.
Maybe
Wow.
after he takes 2 more beers, I can do that. But at this point, I'm going to wait a bit more.
Yeah, only
And the
59.
next slide is
Thank you, Dad. All right, 1 campaign at a time. Only 2 available, but they plan on making more. You said at midnight, so and they won't cut it off if you're in the middle of one. And right now we have one that's like an assault, I guess mega ships, and one that's like malevolence, which is base defense.
And remember, all that is midnight PST. Don't think it's midnight your local
That's
time,
right.
because you get
3
surprises.
a.m. on East Coast. Was that 5 a.m. in Spain?
No, 6 a.m. is 6 a.m. is when midnight is 6 a.m. for us.
Oh, wait a minute.
Doing math live is tricky.
It is, because I just messed that up, right? Because it would actually be 8 a.m. in the UK, so then 9 a.m. in Spain.
Yeah, but it also depends, because Spain and America doesn't always change the hour at the same time. I
daylight
think you do it
savings.
1 month earlier, so yeah, we should have to put that also in the formula. So could get complicated.
Is that guy Frostler still keeping that site up to date with all the timers and stuff? Maybe I'll add this one in.
I think he's doing that, but honestly, I got bored of going there, and I just made my own spreadsheet, knowing exactly on my local time all the translations, and that works for me.
it's easy for me. Whatever time is Kickside, I'm in the States, so whatever time Kickside time is, I just add 3 hours and it's mine.
Yeah, I hear you. That's what I do. But some people like the Frostler stuff. So. All right, let's talk about chests.
It's a pity.
I
I
like
wanted
to-
George to
yeah.
be here today.
Those chests are a lot better than the chests that I won today.
Okay, I'm going to make a question here to the panel to see if you guys are the smart you say you are, if you are able to read between lines, and and
Well, I would
think out of
definitely
the
get
box.
into that line.
Okay, let's go with you, Dr. Death. When you see that picture today here, what are you reading?
I don't see any print.
Reading?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
you need to read between cleavage as well, and that says reinforcements required.
I thought it was. I thought it was put out here. All right. Okay. So anyway, this is an example of a prize that one of us won.
Are you talking on the left or the right?
On the left, I know we probably would have preferred the prize on the right, but I don't believe anybody won that. It may, in fact, be illegal to give out people as prizes. So, there. Yeah, so some combination of uranium, 1 hour ship build. I'm hearing about structure repair or research tokens even.
Yeah, well, I got three 1 hour structure build tokens, and I got 150,000 uranium.
Okay, so it sounds like you got a little better bonus than some others. Still not as good as she's got, but and then some resources, which I don't even know why they bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not even enough to spit at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but apparently you are required to answer cool thus signifying that you like your prize.
Yeah, but what if you don't get any of those ship build tokens or anything like that? Because there are bad prices as well.
Yeah, but you still have to answer cool, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, now here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I think they got messed up on the metric, though. From what I was reading on forum that Doom Rooster posted for the update, if you get the boon chest, if you get the big boon chest, then you get the larger amount of base parts or uranium. I'm sorry, but getting a bigger ship build or structure build token would be the boon chest for me.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think a lot of high-end players really can get uranium at will, can get base parts at will, obviously can get resources at will. But it's build tokens that are the real payoff. I mean, right? If it weren't for the chance of getting a build token, I don't know if anybody would do these at all. Am I right?
Yeah, well, it's not worth the time.
Yeah, because if you, for example, resources, 1.5 million, that's so cheap. If you go hit any of the targets to get uranium or to get base parts, that is normally the prices you get. Hitting just one of those, you're going to get between 20 and 30 millions of each resource. So, depending on the cargo of your fleet, so it's going to be much better than just 1.5 million. So, if you are still building parts in your base or building turrets or building fleets and the like, 1.5 million takes you nowhere.
Yeah. And you know, I mean, if you're having trouble getting uranium or base parts, odds are these campaigns are going to be kind of tough for you. You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, because people were saying, if you don't have the fleet and a lot, but if you don't have the fleets, are you going to have the level of base defense to stand?
No, the Reaver one's going to be easy for most people. That's a simple, no nonsense thing. You activate it, let it run for 6 minutes or so. That's what it takes, 6 to 7 minutes
to
knock out all three of them.
Now imagine your base
and you get your payout. Well, no, because now I got a player in my alliance that's still building level 5 turrets. It's level 84, and he got the Reaver, and his base stood up to it, and he's still running enforcers and stuff in his base guard. So
yeah, but for me, the ships never got to my fleet. Did he has a glacial turret or some of those apox or cataclysm mortars?
No, he came back in. He was out of the game for a year and a half. You know who? Well, you know him. He was out for the last year and a half. He's just now starting to build his base back up.
Mm-hmm.
And his base is junk. Really, it is, because he hasn't gotten any of the new tech hardly, except for what we've got him in the last couple raids. So.
Okay.
But he was able to do it. It was a simple thing for him.
If
you know what I mean?
A guy on that level can do it, then I keep quiet. But the thing is that
now the other campaign, if you don't have Apollos, you're in trouble.
And can you do it if you don't have mega ships?
Yeah, you can do it if you don't have them. If you don't own a mega ship, you're still going to get the campaign. But that's a half an hour for that campaign, and that's with Apollos. You know what I mean? If you use weaker ships, you may not be able to get it done within the hour time constraint without putting some coin into it. If you try and go in there with a spotter and rhinos or something.
I got today the base defense, so I couldn't see anybody doing the other.
You can do it with rhinos and an Apollo tank spotter. But yeah, it's a lot of work to get, really not that much.
Yeah,
you can click one more time, Larry. This first one was what me and Chris got. And then this is another common one that people got, where they got 125,000 base parts instead of the 1 hour ship build token. But it's still not lighting our panties on fire, is it?
Well, no. Now I will say there is a value to it. Let me back up for just 1 second. I'm going to say there is a value to these chests for high-end players that I do see. Okay, real simple. If it's awarding base parts and it's awarding uranium, stack these things up and then burn through them during the raid.
Yeah.
When you can't get base parts and you can't get uranium until you're over halfway through the raid. So if you need uranium or you need base parts during the raid, you can burn these chests to get it.
That's a pretty.
Oh,
good
I would never burn these chests.
No,
Well, that may be you,
burn the
Jefe.
chest on the left during the raid, not the chest on the right.
Yeah. Because
That's
Jefe go with
the value.
candle.
That's where I see value in having these stockpiled. Because for us on a daily basis, unless we're getting a token out of it, it's not really going to be worth anything to us. But during the raid, if you have a turret get done and you need base parts to switch something or change something, boom, open up 3-4 chests and you may be full on base parts and be able to do something. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a great idea.
I don't know. If we open that chest on the right, I'm not sure if I have time to do anything else. But okay.
All right. Are we done with chest jokes? Do we have any others?
No. But
No, not now.
But as far as recommendations moving forward, I mean, especially in regards to resources, this is very poor. And this is just Kixeye throwing out their tester on us at this point.
Well, I don't see the purpose in throwing out. If you're level 80,
better day, and stockpile these for a later date, and then open them up later when there's potentially greater rewards.
Well, you could do that,
Or
unless the rewards are locked. Unless when you get that chest, the reward's already locked on it. We don't know if the reward change. We don't know if you get a chest today, if the reward that's in that chest today is going to be the same reward that's going to be in the chest tomorrow, or if it will change on a daily basis for whenever you open it.
Yeah. No, we didn't know that.
And the regular resources that are in there, they're just fluff. Because anybody that's level 80 or above, even if they've got old fleets, can get more resources than that just by hitting cargoes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's just fluff. That's all that is.
Okay.
So should we move on and say goodnight to Miss Hefe?
Miss Hefe, yeah.
You're dreaming now, buddy. Wake up. We're doing the show.
All right. So we got a couple slides with the campaign descriptions. Mega Mayhem, defend your waters from 3 Legion mega ships. Are these basically 91s or what?
The first one is a 75 from the A set that we did during the Apollo raids. The other 2 are both 91s. And I just think that's just a kick in the teeth for anybody that's got a mega, because we're already having to hit so many freaking 91s every day just to keep our titanium filled up. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to hit 2 more freaking 91s every day now on top of the ones that I already have to do for my chore.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But at least for those that don't have the Polos and don't build because it's just for mega ship stuff, they have one more reason to build the Apollo if they find the time.
Yeah, I mean, I still use an Apollo and 3 Rhinos on megas because I haven't built multiple Apollos. So
I mean, they are a 91, but they have increased damage. It's not the same damage in a 91.
I mean,
yeah, they're increased damage and increased armor.
So are these basically the ones that you need to use bullseye on?
No, I didn't use a bullseye, but I've got a full fleet of Apollos with a Zoe. So
no, you don't need a bullseye. It's not that one. That's just where
Kind
the
of
Apollos just kill everything.
So maybe the wealth pack is just enough.
But do understand that unless you're running Apollos, or even, somebody that doesn't have Apollos, for the players that are over level 80 that may have missed the Apollo raids, never got an Apollo, they will really, really have a hard time doing this one.
Okay.
Yeah, with no Apollos, you would have a difficult time. And it takes, like we discussed, it takes for the rewards that you get about a half an hour to get it done. So it's a lot of time for your rewards. So
yeah, a chance at a 1-hour token.
Yeah, they need to fix this in some ways as far as the rewards, because I've never, I know some people get 150,000 uranium or things like that, but does that take a half an hour to do, especially if it only hits like 1 in 10 or 1 in 20?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the reward isn't worth the time consumption for this campaign, and then on top of that, you're taking damage. You know what I mean? This campaign, you're going to take damage. You're going to put a fleet down. You know what I mean? And like if you're a mega owner, you need that fleet to go out and farm your 10 to 15 91s on the map that you have to do every day to keep producing metal alloys and stuff for your mega. That it's just kind of a slap in the face. Why now I've got to do this, and where am I gonna take away, or am I gonna start spending coin? And I definitely will not start spending coin to do these things.
Clearly, it's not.
Yeah, the problem is that it's not a bad idea to promote people logging daily. It's done for many other games out there. The problem is that the other games just give it to you. They give it's 4 hours, 12 hours, or 24 hours, one chest like this, and you get for free without doing anything. Here you have to invest. If you don't are lucky as many said, and you have the base defense one, you have to invest at least 1 or 2 hours on repairs, depending on the fleet you have, and 30 minutes of your time. So you can just skip it, but people how it is, and it's so sweet to have chests that you can use, as Dr. Dev said, for getting Ramio-based parts during the right time when you have no targets to hit for those and stuff like that. So do you need them? Maybe not, but are going to make your game more easier or more sweet at the end? Yes. So at the end, what will happen? That we will have a new chore. Like
yeah, because think about it. No matter what, we all know, we've all heard, I've heard of a couple players that have gotten a 3-day ship build token. I know a guy that got a 1-day structure build token. So, we're going to get out there and hit these things just on that off chance.
Wait, did anybody got the 1-day repair fleet token yet?
You know what, man? I just hate the RNG stuff in this game because it just frustrates. I don't know. All right, are we ready to
the what stuff? The R&D stuff? Is that what we said?
RNG, random number generator. I mean,
oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's just annoying. It's what you want to give us and let us have more predictability. I don't know. All right, so the other one is Reaver Tide, and again, we talked about this one as base defense, and seems to be pretty easy for a lot of players. So let's keep rolling. Angry Kitten. I mentioned the Angry Kitten at the top of the show. I guess Hefe put this in as something that's a really good idea. I can second that. This is a really good idea. If you have a cataclysm and you put the eruption pyre and Xinthium shells, and both of those bump up your projectile speed and your explosive damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put the advanced concussive payload, I believe is the name for that one. And that one adds 60% to your splash. And you get these cataclysm mortars to be really, really deadly. I can definitely vouch.
As Dr. Gadget suggests, don't forget to put these turrets around your warehouses or your OPs, where you will have also the fire support too, if possible. And if you have already upgraded enough your warehouses or your OP, you probably have room for that other one, the ammunitions, I think it's called.
Yeah, fuel ammunitions too.
Yeah, iron munitions too. That will give you 20% more damage on those mortars, and I think it's 50 or 30 chance you get a critical hit, which means that the number that you are looking at front that says damage is going to get double if you get a critical hit.
Yeah, and I mean when I put this together, I was a little disappointed because if you look at the power, it's a lot of power, and you don't have room for a transformer, but you don't need it. This is a really, really deadly mortar, and I'll give you one more tip that makes this mortar even more deadly. Is if you have buildings on the outside of your base that have EMPs in them, like labs or something, and somebody hits a lab and gets stunned, and then this cataclysm drops right on them, it's really, really entertaining to watch, I'll tell you. I mean, somebody just cruising around the outside of your base getting ready to come in and they are dead. And
the next you get is one message of those, no? One of those happy messages saying thank you.
Now, see, I didn't know
really
this was
easy.
I didn't know this was an angry kitten, but this is the build that I outed. What, two round tables ago? 2BB round or
yeah,
battle or
No,
battle crib.
I think it was the Friday.
This is Friday, yeah. So I wanted to, bring it up again and explain it to people that didn't understand it before, because we sort of just breezed through it. The solar reinforcements are, I already had them.
Yeah.
Solar reinforcements on everything prior to the upgrade, and if you get extra base parts, I'd still throw them on everything.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. You get a couple of these in your base. It's absolutely nasty.
Yeah. Well, I just have the one, and it's nasty. And in fact, I've got it far enough back on my island that it covers the front half of my channel.
Well, see, I've got two of them on my island. I've got one in the front part of my island, so they're getting pounded before they even come near my channel. And then I got one on the back side of my island, so they get pounded through my channel. But on top of that, there's nowhere on the outside of my base that you can bring a fleet up close to my land without getting hit by these things. So,
yeah.
I've started to experiment with. It looks like a new move. I've started to experiment with sort of blocking the entrance to my channel to force people to turn at that point in time near the entrance to my channel, just to make sure I get a couple of hits in with these. And it seems to be working so far to basically block a straight run into your channel.
Yeah.
Because of Go ahead.
Yeah,
okay, we have a question on the chat. They're asking, what do you think is that lady holding on the back of her neck?
Reinforcements for her chest.
Okay, I hope that helps the people on the chat that were having problems understanding that.
Yeah.
It's a
battery
pack for a sex machine.
I thought was weight balance, like on the cars that you put those weight balance. So.
Oh yeah, balance out the weight from her reinforced chest. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, the thing I was going to say is that in the in the channel, when they run into the glacial, and then start slowing down, and then they're still covered by this angry kitten. Yeah, it also can do quite a bit of damage. So yeah. I guess the biggest defense against this, right, is I don't know how many people are putting Gales back on their base hitting fleet, because these guys can be shot down. They don't have any evade for countermeasures.
Yeah, they do. They have 85%.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they do.
I didn't. Okay. I don't know. Can we, Tito? Do you have game up?
What?
I'll check right now.
Yeah, if somebody's got the game up, we should check if it has any kind of flak evade or something like that.
Anti-mort evasion, 85%. Yeah.
85. All right.
And aren't those are those in MRIV round 2 also?
Nope.
Mervs, hot, sexy Mervs is what they have. Yes.
You can't shoot down the Mervs on the box, but
So
no, the actual mortar itself has 85 anti-mortar evasion.
Okay. All right. So never mind. Probably won't help you too much, unless you really, really load up the Gales.
I mean, if you only have one, it can be countered pretty well. But once you start putting 2 or 3 into your garden and on your island, it can work out pretty well.
I know a guy who has like 8 or 9 of them on his island. And they're all upgraded, all level 8, all splash design.
Yeah, there's a guy that just jumped into our sector. He's got 12 of them on his island. All of them are level 8, fully built.
I'm about to go check out, see if I can count them out.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on. You guys can hop in if you find that. All right. So
everybody knew it was Angry Kitten because it's a cat or cataclysm.
Oh, Cataclysm, Kitten.
Yeah, okay. Just
I
making
totally
sure,
missed that.
you know. Okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. Thank you for explaining. All right. So, buried in some thread where someone asked, "Hey, please, I want to know what's in the next raid because it's going to make a huge difference." Doom Rooster posted some sneak preview pictures of prizes from the next raid. So, like we have a new scattergun called the Ruin, a new ship called the Pride, and I think the general thinking is it's a tier 6 Conqueror hull. Yeah.
I think Doom Rooster said it was.
That's what they said it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yep. And I guess with the scatterguns, we know what damage type. And then narrow firing aperture, which sounds like it'll reduce splash, but
Or
I mean
spread.
spread.
I think it's going to reduce spread.
Yeah,
spread.
Sorry. Spread. But there you go. So sneak preview on prizes. Anything else we should say about these?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a bit disappointed that the first whole release is going to be the Blitz because it's normally the one that has less spawn life in game.
Hefe? Anyone else? Thoughts?
No. I mean, they look like they came from. What's the other game they're playing? The space game?
Vega?
The conflict?
No, Vega. Yeah, they look like they come from Vega, right?
Yeah, it's kind of the new draconian look to it. Maybe, well,
Yeah.
maybe a little
I'm
Vega
just
like.
thinking,
Vega.
Yeah, it reminds me. You guys remember that old TV show Galactica, something like that?
Battlestar Galactica, yeah.
Yeah, that's what reminds me when I see this hull. To be honest.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
As far as
my
the
main
general
question,
wasn't
and I
that
don't,
like a white?
and I don't know if it has been answered anywhere, is the tier. Well, that weapons we suppose these are going to be a tier 6, and will you be able to build that tier 6 weapon on tier 5 hulls? Because we know that not always the people can get the hull.
Yeah, well, it's a good question because, right, how are they going to, how's a tier 6 hull going to be more powerful, right? Is it going to have more armor? Is it going to have more defense? Is it going to have some kind of huge damage bonus, over 100%? Or is it going to be the weapon that makes the difference? And so that'll definitely be worth looking at is where's the
special ability.
What was that, Hefe? You got to speak up, man.
Or combined with the special ability.
Yeah,
the special ability because Pride is not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, potentially the special ability might be quite different and how it interacts with because we had Bloodthirst before. We had a lot of other stuff before, but
maybe they'll do some new mechanic to replace Bloodthirst.
Good question I have is, but since this is a scatter hole, what was the purpose of the alpha?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they bring a new UAV that really kills this bright hull. Likely on the past, the way to stop the Furies was to have the Draconian scattergun in your base. Sorry, the Draconian carrier in your base with all of those UAVs from the Draconian season. So I don't know. But so far, unless they fix it, I think those alpha with the UAVs were not working pretty well. That people could just avoid the damage from UAVs, something that was not what happened at first when they were introduced into the game.
Okay. What else we got? Easy way to get Zynthium. Snowfall campaign. Is this the first 3 levels, or is this just level 3?
Well, it's just level 3 by itself. I mean, I've started to. The 62 million. Level 1, you get basically 26. You get around 19 million, and then you get 62 million. So you get over 100,000. And if you have a spite, this is all instant repair for over 100,000 Zintium, and it takes about 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, when I needed Zinth, I was doing Boiling Seas, which was one of the Reaver campaigns, and I wasn't getting quite this much Zinth, but I was using just random Conqueror hulls, a couple Spites, maybe a Revenge, a couple Vendettas or something. Just throwing it at it, doing the first 3 levels, and getting a lot of Zinth. So there's lots of campaigns you can do to get Zinth. I think I have heard Snowfall is one of the best. But I personally had finished all 5 of these, so I couldn't do Snowfall.
See, you got plenty of Protomastodons, but yeah, it's if it's still out there, and you're still working on your walls, because people have been giving me crap about my walls. They think my base looks ghetto because of the walls.
I finished mine during the last raid, I think. All right. I think that's it for the slides. Anything else?
I'll take you up present, Larry.
Oakley doke. I will stop sharing somehow. So what else is going on? Tito, you brought up Battlestar Galactica. Tonight is the premiere of Season 2 of The Expanse. I'm super excited. And I'm not going to be on
I'm not sure I have seen that one yet. I think it's on Netflix, so I could try.
It's on Amazon.
Was that right?
But
I had an idea I wanted to share.
Oh, it's on Amazon? I have as well, so no problem.
Chris, go ahead.
So, with how they're doing the raids, we all know that basically they're giving us 2 holes per raid. My thought, what is if they released 1 hole and then released 2 flagship holes geared towards whether you're going to do it the slow way or the fast way? That way you've only got to build 1 fleet.
Could you clarify what slow way versus the fast way means?
So, like this raid style, the slow way is going to be with the cannoneers because that's going to be the skilled way, the no damage way, the part where you're kind of guarding out the points. The other ways where you're just rushing through the targets with the ironclads.
Okay. So you want 1 hull with 2 different flagships that alter the way that that hull works.
What I think
1 of 2 channels.
Yeah, maybe
Yes.
maybe the way he says is that, for example, you could use the ironclad as the tank for your cannoneers, for example, so you rush around them, or you just use the Harlow cannoneer just to go and hit those targets with more finesse. I don't know. It's a
No,
good
what I'm
point,
saying is
but
for each raid set, they release 1 ship. They've said during each raid set, they're releasing 2. One way is going to be for the people who are going to sit there and grind their way out through the raid. The other one's for the people who are just going to coin their raid from day 1. Instead of releasing 2 different holes, release 1 hole, but give out separate flagships for people on how they want to play the raid. That way you've only got to build 1 fleet, and then you can pick which flagship you want to build.
I understand.
yeah,
I understand.
I like that.
The key to that is, Chris, it won't happen because that's less ships all around that have to be built. And
It won't happen,
Kixeye,
but it's a good idea, in my opinion.
it is a good
No,
idea.
but I like his idea, or just build a fleet for the raid and the other flagship for going with the Zealous, because the Zealous, the way it's designed, I'm guessing we are never going to see a flagship for that one because it will require different bonus for each of the targets.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a bad idea. They have nearly all in game. They should only have to release the flagship for that Zealous for that campaign or that season of raid.
So Kixeye's issues with how they release the hulls for this raid set between the Ironclad and the Cannoneer, and not being able to get all the specials and not getting stuff until the last minute. They have recognized that they made a mistake in how they did this raid, and they have proposed some fixes, and that's probably about all I can say. But I think the next raid cycle, I know they're going to change things for the next raid cycle. I think it will be better. So,
are they half measured, like that? Somebody else's, like one person has a vision, and then somebody else is countering, and so we're gonna end up with a half measured type of thing, or
I don't know. I mean, I think they're really trying to think hard about who can get what hulls when and build them and how that's going to work. They really are thinking about it and trying to make a plan for next raid cycle that will be better.
Well, for anybody from B,
it all comes down to communication, right? I mean, if we had known sort of the roadmap as to how everything was getting released, we could have made better choices on how we planned and how we built our fleets. So I think even if they do this plan again,
hallelujah.
Even if they do this plan again, if they just told us this would be the plan, people could deal with it. People would decide how they wanted to respond. But now it's like, you don't know, right? This raid, nobody knew, oh, here's the Cannoneer. Is there going to be a weapon coming out for it? I don't know. When? I don't know. Should I build a fleet? I don't know. How good's the new weapon going to be? I don't know. So, yeah, I almost think the fix, whatever they change, is less important than how they communicate it.
Exactly. But for anybody from Kickside that's watching the show, I'm going to tell you one thing that will not be a fix, that the player base will go in an uproar about, is if you decide you're going to jack the cost clear through the roof again. So say you give us the ship, the weapon, and special, but we got to get 200 million points for it, and reduce the points for the targets, because that went over really bad.
Yeah.
And they're telling you that first that it's working as intended, then that they are looking at it, then changing the briefing with thinking nobody's going to realize that. And we are all waiting for the answer. What are you expecting if we see the change on the briefing? We are going to say, maybe I was wrong, and all the community with me.
Yeah, but that falls back to the communication. I'm just saying, they for some reason they've got it in their head that they need to increase the cost exponentially for what we're going to redeem points for, and they're reducing the payout in the targets, and that's just that's not making a lot of the player base very happy. I mean, small incremental changes would be, if over next raid cycle, if instead of the main hull being a 15 million point cost, it was like 17 million, to where it was a slow increase over time, that might be a little bit more acceptable. But when they brought out that Cannoneer and people had to get 90 million, you know how many people were so freaking upset? It was just crazy.
Yeah. All right. We'll see. I'll tell you, they're talking about juggling around the order, but I suspect that the points early are still going to be high.
Oh, I suspect that too. I'm just saying, for anybody from Kickside watching, just from what I've heard on forums, what I heard in Sector Comms, Ally Chat, Facebook pages, people were upset about how high they took the point cost.
Yeah. Should we end the show?
I think we covered it all, yeah.
Right on.
I mean, is there anything you want to talk about, Tito?
No, I think we covered it all.
All right.
I mean, you know, on the Friday show, we talk about renaming Brian's base. Yeah, we're trying to, you know, I think on this show, we're gonna vote on your beard. I don't know. Do we like Tito's beard at this point in time?
Oh, Tito's beard.
Or do you think we should trim it up?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I'm going to make another. Do you guys want Hefe on camera for next show so we can just, take revenge? Because if there are no more revenge wars in those new Conqueror schools, we have to take revenge on somebody else.
No. Here we go. I was talking to Tito the other day, and he said that he would on the show live. If Sigh gives us the next hole for the next raid set under 50 million points, he'll shave his beard live on the show.
We don't know if that's like a 2-day beard or we don't know. Tito might have grown that in 2 days.
Yeah, I think he shaved it this morning. He just grew it this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. After the siesta time, every time I use the same amount, man.
Tito and Jeff Saturday, man, they are men of beards.
Yeah, so he's making an Indianapolis Colt / ESPN analyst reference that may not be cut across everybody.
Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, but I am telling you guys, you got me disappointed today on the channel. On the panel, sorry. None of you could read between the clevers, and that for me was something that I was not expecting for you guys. I thought that you were going to find that requirement, reinforcements, bra, very clearly.
Buddy, my face would have been buried so deep in the cleavage that I wouldn't have been able to read anything.
There's a secret message in there, Tito. I don't know.
I didn't do anything on his Facebook page, but so not my fault this time.
Rockstar signed his name in there, and you got to find it.
She's got a party dot in there somewhere.
Party dot? Is that like an echo dot? Alexa.
I don't know what either one of them are. Well, I posted a Google Hangout for anybody that'd like to join the show, join the after show. I'm sure Nines will. Nines, are you going to show up?
He is, right on.
Yeah, are you going to give us a Sightseeker build?
Why would I do that? I just built my Harlock Citadel. Finally.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
so
I took a little lunch.
Anybody else would like to join us? I've pasted the link and communicate with the rest of us, and I guess we'll end the show unless anybody else has anything exciting to say.
No, I think I'm going to do the campaign during the after.
Okay.
Do you think I should pull my guard? Is that what I'm hearing? Won't need it?
No, I wouldn't pull your guard.
No, don't pull your guard.
All right.
It's easy.
All right, I'll just do it.
Yeah, if you have the Glacier and a couple of those Angry Kitties, you are doing it pretty good.
And for anybody that's going to miss the show Saturday because they start their Super Bowl party early, y'all have a good Super Bowl and a safe party, and make certain you don't drive home.
Well, the show's on Friday, and
I know a couple guys that have already started partying. So yeah, but I know a couple guys that have already started partying. So
yeah, I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
There's a place in town that's already starting 10-cent wings till the night after the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. The partying's already starting for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Who's playing?
Falcons
and
evil,
Patriots.
Horrible.
So why are we
So
watching it
watch
then?
Larry get farmed.
What?
I don't think he stands a
Cataclysm.
chance against those Reavers. I think he's hacking now.